Why, hello, Kurt.
Good morning, Dr. Brad.
We
Can't
got
shake
our
it.
coffee.
We got our coffee. I'm
We're a little bit limbered up.
a little bit limbered up. I had to roll out of bed, throw
Oh
everything.
my, this is a confession, is it?
Dude, I'm not, I have no shame about being able to work again and get and sleep through the night. So,
That's right.
all right.
Coffee. How's a coffee?
The coffee is good enough. You know, if I could drink, if I could go back to drinking really good coffee, then I would do that. But we stick with the decaf and it's only good enough.
There you go.
But, you know, it's a good thing. So this morning,
This morning, do you mean the 5th of May?
yes,
Hmm.
it is May, right? We had
It
this
is,
problem
it is
yesterday.
still May, just like yesterday.
Um, so it's 5th of May, Sunday, the 5th of May, 2024. This is a working session. Working session is something we do for documentation, but we actually share because strangely enough, people watch it. Um, today's section is the continuation of our work on embodiment. We seem to have gotten this whole thing down, this whole structure down in the narrative structure down. And so we feel like we're doing pretty good work. Brad has brought up an insight, which, in this morning, that we want to test a concept, and inside a concept, he will want to test. And we're about to discuss that, which is, and I believe it's his insight here, or his concept, yeah, it's an insight, is that he is a natural product of what we've been working on. In other words, a natural conclusion of what we've been working on, if you think about it this way. I want to say that I want to introduce this so that I want to introduce something. So what Brad has said is that evolutionary computation seeks greater coherence. And I thought that it took me a while, like a couple of minutes. Um, I'm just writing it down. Evolutionary computation seeks coherence between the assembly
Hmm.
and the environment, right? Now, what I wanted to bring, so that was what you were trying to get across. That was something like what you were
Yep.
trying to get across. So I want to discuss that. If I didn't lose my train of thought there. Um, I did. Damn it. There is something going right in science, in the guys who are at the very edge of the profession. And it's happening in physics, in biology, and in physics, biology, and in cognitive science,
Okay.
which is, okay, well, what else is there except
Mm-hmm.
except the resulting behavior? And it seems like just like around 2000, we got over the everybody's the same, the what is it, the natural, what is it, nature versus nurture fallacy, sort of that, the stake got put down with what's his name, gray hair Jewish guy from he looks like Burt Bacharach from
Yeah, big hair.
um uh, uh,
Pinkerton.
Pinker, that Pinker. student thinker. And that set us by the time, the same thing, and genetics followed, so that by, I say that we had ended nature versus nurture as nature in 2000. By 2012, we had ended the debate over sex differences. By 2017 or 18, we ended the debate over race differences. And something is going right now, because my work is doing something, right? We're sort of concretizing. And I gotta say that my work is reactionary, right? I am solving a problem because the problem was extremely obvious and stressful for me back in 1990. And so I'm reacting to the evidence of a problem. And so you've seen the cognitive science, the cognitive science revolution was a reaction to in psychology, there's no science here. It was kind of amazing to see a profession recognize that, it's like, we actually don't have any scientific basis to what we do. It's all made up.
Yeah, it's a philosophical exercise.
Right. And so what we do with cognitive science is we sort of get there. And you see with what's his name, the guy I bring up all the time with the funny name, oh fuck, what's his name? He's got a great YouTube channel, Orion Taraban. He is fixing, in my view, psychology, right? He's explaining what's going on. The way you entice the person or manipulate, educate, whatever to the person can vary from individual to individual, because you need to tell an empathic woman, right, something one way. You need to tell broken man something way, but you need to tell most people just what the hell's going on, right? I mean, once you have words and phrases to explain what's going on in yourself, you can often just adjust from that. So we see that in psychology. I brought up in biology, we have Levin doing his, it's kind of electric. There's the electric current, the bioelectric current transmission of information is there. It's not just genetics, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now he's not far enough along in the explanation of it, but he's far enough along in the research of it, right? And of course, I look at the Perimeter Institute and Neil Turok, and I say, well, damn, this guy has finally come out and said what we're saying, which is, shit, the universe, I think we actually do understand the universe. It's not, it's actually incredibly simple. And because all this search for more is turned out to be a failure. I'm just waiting till they get to the point where they stop talking about mathematics. They talk about, and then I was listening to something by God, why are these names not coming to me? Like Steve, a physicist. Fuck. I swore I said the F word. You look at the grin on your face because I said it, right? Because I didn't control myself. So what is his name? Anyway, I'll think of it. I was listening to him, talk from him yesterday, and he's going through and he's answering hours worth of Q&A, sort of like we do, right? Very much like we do. He's answering hours of Q&A, but the Q&A he's answering is he's doing the same thing throughout, which is describing mathematics as if it's the thing that, in other words, he's describing the math instead of using the math to describe something. And the number of errors that are in that conversation are annoying as hell, Now the consequent result is that he's open to ideas that are ridiculous, right? And explains the world in a way that makes it appear mystical and unknown and inconsistent. Whereas if you take the physicalist view that we do, it's pretty easy. He even brings up there are people that think of the world, like you and I do, right? We're like, I don't know how you think of it. I mean, maybe it might be just children running with scissors, but I think I think of it as very material world, and the only remaining problem appears to be that there's such an aversion to talking about the quantum background as an ether, right? Which is some material in difference that can basically boil at different states, right? Right, where we can see bubbles forming, it forms bubbles, but for some reason its bubbles are at different frequencies. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. And so for some reason that happened. I don't have to solve that goddamn problem. I have to understand that that's the end result. And because nothing in the universe that matters, matters.
That's exactly correct. Literally.
Nothing in the universe that matters can emerge from it other than that. So, right. I think that we're going to have somebody eat crow in the electric universe at some point, because the fact that the guys in this wacky fringe thing, which is considered pseudoscience, not only by most people, but by most most physicists, but by me, right? We're going to have to eat crow, because it looks like when we look at what's happening when we look at how we look at the world as electrical charge, right? And spin, is that there's probably some what we would call the equivalent of electrical communication in the universe, just like there is among cells, right? All right, and it doesn't mean it's like the cells communicate complex shit. I'm not saying the universe does that. It might just be high, gravity, but whatever. So there's a big change going on. I'm almost done with this arc, Brad, I promise. There's a big change going on in the world, and it's not just us, right? What? I thought you were going to
Paradigm shift.
It's a big paradigm shift, and it seems like we're getting over the mathiness and the math. It's like the final.
Now we're circumventing it.
Is that what's happening?
The roadblock. It's like it's constipation. It's gone. It's just we'll get around it.
Get rid of the whole Marxist pseudoscience thing across the spectrum. We even had to get around the mathiness problem from Cantor, Bohr, and Einstein, right? I mean,
they're not going anywhere, so we just keep on going around. It's just
this is an insight you've had in general. From Quigley, right? Is that what happens? Yeah. So we're seeking I like this ties. You're not gonna believe I tied this together. But so when you brought up evolutionary computation seeks coherence, I'm like, well, isn't that what the science does? I mean, we're trying to science seeks coherence. I mean, we're just another extension of the universe, right? Trying to get rid of the dark forces of time and ignorance, and human stupidity, and Jesus Christ, the whole normie class. Anyway, we're trying to. So sorry, I did it again, and I took his savior's name in vain.
Oh my.
I don't think, is that in vain when I say, hey, Jesus Christ, when I'm appealing to him for mercy? No, that's okay. I can do that, right? When I say Jesus Christ is an appeal to mercy, that's okay. I mean, that should be okay.
It's okay. I certainly am not going to condemn you, sir.
You're not going to condemn me for that.
Not at all.
So in the end, I was trying to tie together your coherence and the fact that knowledge, knowledge by the way of science, seeks coherence in the only way that's possible, because the physical world has operational constraints, right?
Yes.
but it can't predict. And right,
Ah,
humans can have operational constraints, but because we have memory and recursive memory, we can predict. And so because we can predict, we can obtain coherence at our level of sophistication. In other words,
yeah.
our level of development. One of the things that I found funny in Steve Carroll, that's who it was I was listening to. I said, you learn so much by the people who are close to you but are wrong, right?
Yes.
It's like, it's so much easier to learn something when somebody's like this different, you're this far off, right?
Well, you detect the difference and you go, oh, that's a correction.
Right. When somebody's like really wrong, you're like, fuck, I don't know how you got there. That's nuts. Right. But what it's like when I criticize Hop, right? I mean, I learned so much from him, but he's got a thing he's wrong about. He's just very invested in it. We got a couple of things, but it was listening to him be right about everything but that made me say, what? How did you go with this right and that wrong, right? And so
Lacking coherence.
there's an absence of coherence. So it took me, I don't know, a couple of minutes there before we started, when I said we need to record this, to sort of wrap my head around it. But I'm like, okay, that was another insight by Brad, and that was really smart.
Well, it goes like this. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit. The function of it goes like evolutionary computation seeks increased coherence with the environment, the assembly, which is to say it's tropic. It has a trophic function. It seeks greater coherence with the environment, which is a predictive function for survival, and it turns into this interesting function, which I thought of after we began our conversation, which is it is equilibria creating standing waves, that's what matters.
Okay, I think you got ahead of me on that one too, because I can see a couple of meanings. So equilibria between standing wave, yes, that's what creates coherence.
Because then it can persist. Because the non-coherent ones dissipate back to the ether.
Between, I think aren't they harmonic? It can be combinatoric, right? So it's harmonic.
There's a harmonic function there.
Yeah, what I'm just saying is, standing waves implies they're all in the same frequency. And I'm like, okay, but they can combine into harmonics, right?
Right.
The standing waves can all work together across.
Yeah, I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the say that ether or the background, the quantum background.
Okay.
And it develops a standing wave, which is a combination of
Right.
assemblies, right? It assembles itself into something that is matter. It matters. And it's a standing waveform.
Yes.
And it's an equilibrium with itself. It has established an equilibrium that is stable. So we're back to stable equilibria. How about that?
Evolution seeks a trophic what?
It's a tropic function seeking coherence and stable equilibria.
It's the other way around. So I do greater coherence, and then I add trophic.
Okay. Which is a predictive function. Which is not like we understand prediction, but it's predictive because it's like it wants to assemble into something that is stable at a higher level of complexity. because there's too much pressure underneath.
Yeah, I mean, increasing, it's tropic, increasing.
Coherence.
Yeah, but that's not what you said. Evolutionary, God damn it. What did you say?
It's all on tape. How about that?
Yeah. Oh, not good. It's better to spend 2 minutes here than it is for me to spend the 10 minutes to go figure that
I
out.
understand you. I respect you. I respect your logic. It's seeking to come to a stable equilibrium, right? In order to survive.
Yeah, there was something, it was increasing something. Uh,
I can't help you there.
am I sharing my screen or not?
No.
Right. Look at the video. Figure out. Both you and Brandon can very effectively model with words. In other words, and both of you are extremely reductive. So what I usually have to do is I have to listen really carefully. In the moment when you say an insight, I quickly translate it into something, right? So that I can, or when you say something that needs to be said the way you say it, try to stop listening so I can record that. Because neither of you can reconstruct it. I can usually, it might take me 5 minutes for it to come back to me, but I'll be able to reconstruct it. But neither of you guys can reconstruct it, and it's like, it's like I also want to. You know what I'll do? I should do is I shoot a little audio recorder for these things, so
Yeah,
I
dude.
can just, while
Yeah,
we're
do this right here. Make sure it's marked.
yes. So I can just
Somewhere before there. It's a couple minutes before there at most. So it saves you some time.
Yeah. So figure out what Brad said just
Before the flash of the mug.
for waving the cup. On what is this today? May 5, 2024.
I want to make this into a little short, I think.
Well, I'm thinking we can that I'm gonna cut it out. It's too bad YouTube has cut all the features out of their editor. All you can really do is add stuff to it. You can't really do anything in it. So for little stuff in the past, you could usually you can cut stuff out, but you can't like add something, take something from here. It used to be you could do all sorts of stuff. I don't know why they did that, but I'm sure they had their freaking reasons. But now that means you have to do it here, right? And so that means loading up either iMovie or what's the other one I use, the Final Cut, and loading it in and doing it and then rendering it out. And it's like, okay, I want a 5-minute clip, and that just took me 35 minutes, right? I mean,
Right?
right? Maybe. All right. All right. So this is an insight.
So you want to make a stop that recording?
Yeah. Give me a second. Yeah.
Right.
I want to make sure that there's not something else here. I see. I use spin, and spin is correct because if you look at what's going on, they describe in what's the experiment called where they put them in the bath.
Oh, okay, right.
They describe it that way. That's the effect of something that is in fact spinning, right? But it's probably a lot more like it's just a very well-organized electrical storm, right?
Right.
That's really happening. And then the storms are and the storms result in a uniformity, which we call a vibration or a pattern, or some people call a string, right? Which is, I don't think they quite they think the thing is the string, instead of the string is the representation of the harmonics that occur as this thing is spinning, or the charges are working together. I think that's what's going on. And so the insight you've got here is that that's true, but how is the information being expressed such that that is true? And that's the coherence function, which we see it seeks a lower energy state, in other words, a more stable energy state.
Right.
But what you're saying is that there is information in the harmonics or in the coherence that allows that to happen. And it's not just energy. It's probably not just energy levels.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Because you don't.
I don't have an answer to that. I go. Okay.
No. I'm just trying to. I'm saying I can intuit. There's more behind what you're saying than in context of the overall model, and then my subconscious is saying, Doolittle, don't give up on this because there's something really good here.
The issue with this is we have an anthropomorphic term, which is prediction. Okay, and it is not prediction; it is discovery.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. You can call it prediction, and it looks like prediction when you're a human, but to subatomic or an atomic or a molecular, it looks like discovery of a new equilibrium with the environment. And a greater assembly can be accomplished.
And what do harmonics tell us? Does coherence?
Where are you looking?
On my screen.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't help very much.
Give me a second. I'm just trying to.
I'm scrying. I'm scrying. Stop.
Okay, so we have an anthropomorphic term called prediction, but it's actually discovery. I'm going to say that for clarity. And the levels below animal thought. I mean, I don't know how they'd be. It's just discovery. And what does coherence, harmonics, tell the organism, the assembly? No matter how primitive. Other than this is an easier energy state.
But it relieves the pressure, you call pressure. It's a relief of pressure.
That relieves the pressure. That's a really nice way of saying it. You know, you're good at this. Yeah.
I report when I stumble upon something in the dark here.
The same thing. Now, the thing is, we don't have to pretend. We're not writing papers, so we don't have to pretend like you know.
This is a coffee clutch.
Yes. All right. So I think you wanted me to make this a clip now.
Whenever you're ready.
What does that face mean? I don't know what's supposed to happen. No, you
So
want
you're decide how you want to end this little conversation, and that works.
Well, I both want to, no, it belongs, it's more of a physics thing, so we should pull it out.
I would pull it out because it's not related to our immediate working embodiment.
Sure as hell explains it a lot more clearly. If you add pressure, spin, density, energy, harmonic. You keep
We
adding
don't
up.
do that. I think what we do is we preload the body embodiment bit with the terminology, and then we explain the terminology when we get to the physics bit.
Yep.
And then it's already woven through there, and everybody can follow the thread to the target.
Yep.
That's how I came up with this, because I'm like, I'm just writing down what I'm going to include. I had to change pages in my notebook. And so I copied some things over there that I'm trying to make sure I hold my thoughts together enough to be able to interject into the pieces we're working on. And then I started thinking about it, how we were talking about it yesterday, and then it went, whoop. It assembled, auto assembly.
Because it seeks coherence.
It just wants coherence, that's all.
That was a really good insight today. I'm sorry, but you got to take the credit for that one.
Okay.
Like Eli and sovereignty.
Wait,
Well,
I had to look at my Eli button because of that.
oh, you're Eli, follow us, call Eli.
Break glass if you need in emergency, right?
So you need an Eli. He just had a baby.
Attaboy.
All right. Well, his wife had, or his girlfriend, or his significant.
Yeah, we understand one another.
Those pagans, they don't follow the rules.
That's it. That was a short.
All right. What was it? I don't know how long it was.
It was a little bit long for a short, but it's
It was
okay.
like 40 minutes. 40 minutes. All right. Do your thing.
Hey, you! All you who think that Eli did great, hit like and subscribe, and then the notification bell, because sovereignty. And look at those comments. They're just stacking up, Kurt. They're stacking up right now beneath our fingers.
All right. This is Sunday, May 5th, 2024. I did May this time again, right? Okay, Sunday, May 25th, May 5th, 2024. This has been our chat on Brad's insight into how to integrate the concept of coherence into evolutionary computation. Thanks all. Brad, I'll see you in a minute.